Okay, so does everybody have this diagram memorized? Neck, lower lip, upper lip, freeze. Good. Let's get rid of my blue pencil. So to make life a little easier, I've got my skeleton on a layer. You can also open this triangle up and turn on and off the selection of joints if they're bothering you. So just remember that that's an option. One other thing that you can do at this point is you can select a joint that you know isn't working. And let's do a quick animation. We're here at frame 1, my rotates are set to 0. Then let's go to frame 2. And at frame 2, let's just rotate it down, and at this point the jaw should be open. So right now, obviously, even in the side view, you can see that lots of terrible things are happening. Having this animation lets you really quickly see how your weight paint is working, and that can be really helpful. Just remember when you're done, you can right-click and delete your keys right here in the time slider. So I'm going to set my skeleton layer to template so that it's not getting in my way for selecting, and I'm going to go ahead and start doing my weight paint. I'm going to start with the easy parts. If I go into vertex mode, I know from my blue pencil diagram that the whole top of the head here, everything up through here is going to go to the freeze joint. And I'd even go a little further. I'm going to take the back of the ear, center of the ear. I might want some of these. No, I'll just put all of these onto the freeze joint. I've got a couple of ways that I can run this freeze. The first you probably already know. In your regular right-click menu, there is the Paint Skin Weights tool. In the Paint Skin Weights tool, you'll get this black and white display. Black means that the current selected joint in this list is not affecting this area. White means that it is affecting this area. So I've got the neck joint selected, and right now it's really only affecting this part of the back right here. All of the vertices I've selected, I want to go to the freeze joint, so I can click on freeze. You can see what freeze is affecting. And now my action is set to replace. My opacity and value are set to 1. If I hit flood, all of these things will now be affected entirely by the freeze joint, which at least should mean that the nose isn't moving, although I can see that it is. Sometimes. Interesting. There's an alternative method to the Paint Skin Weights tool. If you go into the Windows menu, General Editors, there's a window called the Component Editor. The Component Editor isn't going to show you the same black and white diagram, but if I go through in this Smooth Skin tab, it will show me a list of my joints so that I can determine who's being affected by what and at how much weight. In the options here, I can show or hide my 0 columns so that I can see that in terms of joints, the right and left eyeball are not bound. Here's my freeze joint. It should be affecting all of these at 1 or 100%, and all of the rest of them should be at 0. Don't know why that's happening, but we'll work that out later. So if I click on a joint, if I click on a vertex, like this one here, I can go through and see which of my many joints this particular vertex is being affected by. I'm going to go back and hide my 0 columns. They're just getting in my way, honestly. So I can see that this vertex is being affected by the lower lip and a little bit by the upper lip. And I can go through and take a look at all of them and see the percentages involved. I find this to be a little bit faster than the Paint Skin Weights tool for this type of exercise, but I'm not sure why I find it that way. I think I just like spreadsheets. So at this point, the weight painting is going to become a little bit tedious, and that's okay. What I'm going to do is start selecting vertices and making sure that they are painted entirely to the appropriate joint. So I've selected this group of vertices that are on the lower lip. I did it here in the side view. If I hit the Shift key and the period, that will grow my selection, and that'll give me the entire lower lip, probably to about right there. This should all go to the lower lip. So in my component editor, I'm just going to take all of these vertices, click and drag to select the entire column, and type in a 1, and now all of these vertices will be attached entirely to the lower lip. Let's do the same thing for the upper lip. I will just very carefully select these vertices up front and hit Shift period a couple of times until I've got the entire upper lip. These will go to the upper lip. Again, I'm just going to click and drag to get the entire column, type in a 1. These will go to the upper lip, and now I should see the mouth open. Isn't that wonderful and also kind of terrifying? Yes, that's a little better. So your trick right now is going to be figuring out the best way for you to do this paint skin weights thing. Just some tricks so that you have them. If you like selecting edge loops more than you like selecting vertices, you can do that. Your skin weights tool and your component editor will only look at vertices, but you can very easily convert between the two of them by holding down, Control Shift right click. No. Control right click, Control right click. In your Control right click menu, this is your conversion options, so I can take my edge selection and convert two vertices. And then again, two vertices. That'll give me all of these vertices right here. I'm going to take them and paint them specifically to the lower lip joint, like so, and now let's just see what that's doing. That's giving me a little bit more chin. That's good. I wanted more chin there. Excellent. I think I already said this, but Shift period will grow a selection like that. Up here you can turn symmetry on and off, so you can do both sides at the same time. You can also turn symmetry on and off in Control Shift right click. Symmetry, turn symmetry on, change your axis of symmetry. All of those things live in Control Shift. So again, Control or Command right click to convert a selection from edges to vertices, Control Shift for symmetry and the symmetry options. But let's get these tentacles painted to the upper lip here. And then let's head down to the bottom. Get these vertices here. You know what? I should only do one face tentacle at a time. So here, this one, and let's do this to the lower lip. Let's even go up a little further with this. Like that. These should all be on the lower lip. And so should these. So let's take this, Shift period, and all the way up the lower lip. And I forgot one little row down at the bottom. Take this one and just make sure I got the whole thing, because I don't think I did, but this should all go to the upper lip. Okay, so let's see what happens when I open my mouth now. That's a little more stable. I've still got some deformation happening here at the nose. So let's get these vertices here painted up to the upper lip. Symmetry is so helpful when you're doing this. These should all be to the upper lip. I also like the component editor because I don't have to go back and open and close it a million times, unlike the Paint Skin Weights tool, which I do. And then here in the eye region, all of these things should be going to the freeze joint. So let's grab all of these right up here. And let's go to freeze. Good. Good, and let's see now. Still kind of a little bit droopy. There's something going on in the eyes. But we're looking a lot better. So let's just see what's going on with my eyeballs. This whole region here should be on the freeze joint. Come on, all the way. Yep. Good, and now you should not be moving. Excellent. Love it. Okay, so for this joint, my final weight paint is going to look, in the Paint Skin Weights tool, kind of like this. So here's the freeze joint, lower lip, upper lip. You'll see that I've got a few shades of gray here, and we'll talk about those in the next video. I really haven't done much with the neck or the head, and I should probably do those too. But the big thing is that I've got this freeze working, my lower lip, and my upper lip. So come join me in the next video when you are just about here too.